Hello, hello. I have Jesney tonight on the stream with me.
How's it going?
This is going to be a fun night. We're going to play some indie dance, some, I don't know, I've got some new disco as well, and then whatever else, whatever the night takes us, yeah. But first, before we get into the music, I'm going to start off with a little Q&A so that we can get to know Jesney. So I am just going to pull up his bio. So he is a DJ and producer. He's based right here in London. He's been an integral part of the underground music scene since the late 1990s. Just a little while.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Renowned for his distinctive mixing technique and progressive grooves within the indie dance and techno genres, Jesney has established a notable presence. His exceptional playing style and carefully curated track selections have afforded him the opportunity to perform alongside the industry's most esteemed artists, including Bart Skills, Julian Jeweil, Christian Smith, Juliet Fox, and Pig and Dan, among others. He's played across Canada and the U.S., as well as performing internationally, but he holds a deep appreciation for local support, for the local support he's received throughout his 2-decade residency with his hometown collective, NEC Productions.
That's right, representing.
Yes, NEC. We love NEC. He remains a significant figure in today's music landscape, characterized by his signature sound. His music releases are on all major streaming platforms, with releases on labels such as, how do you say this one, Mate Records?
Yeah, Meta.
Meta?
Yeah.
Meta Records. Blue Recordings, and his own co-owned label, FGA Recordings. In 2019, he was honored with the title of Best Electronic Artist at the FCLMA Music Awards for his debut album, Yesterday's Memories. And he is, I think it says you're about to release your second album, but did you end up releasing it already?
It's released. Yeah, it was released February 20th, I believe.
Okay, because I was at the album release party, so
yeah,
which was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah,
so definitely
cool.
check it out. And through his lifelong relationship with music and art, he has come to understand that this pursuit transcends mere enjoyment, and it is, in fact, a way of life. Welcome.
It definitely is. Yeah, thanks for having me.
We were just talking about how it's a way of life earlier, and how you said 1990, but you said you've been in music maybe like 30 years.
I have, yeah. I got my first set of turntables in 1996.
Wow.
And it was my my love and appreciation. I saw this movie called Juice when I was younger.
Yeah.
With Tupac.
Okay.
And it was
it
was kind of like based. There was like some, DJ. There was like some DJ influence there, and I just always like really was receptive to that movie, and I always knew that eventually I'd love to get some turntables. 4 years later, boom.
Okay, 4 years later.
Yeah.
Amazing. So that was your start into DJing. So
Yep.
1996,
Yep.
you get some turntables, and that was kind of what kicked things off. And then where did your DJing career go from there?
So then I started hanging out with this crew here in London in '99 called Blue Skies Productions.
Okay.
They were throwing events, like big events all across London here, hanging out a lot at this place called the Base.
Yeah.
And it was the old keg that was on Richmond Street near the railroad tracks.
Okay.
So it was in the basement.
Yeah.
And
is
that's
that like where Molly? Is that where Molly's is now?
It's close. It's like, where the tracks are, Molly.
Yeah.
It's
Molly's
right
on the other side.
Yeah, it's the old train station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that's a cool spot.
it was incredible.
That's
It was
really cool
Thursday
spot.
nights, and I remember I was going to Beale for their art program at the time, and I saw Kenny Glasgow for my first time, and I was hooked. I was there every Thursday.
Yeah.
It was
that
really
was
cool.
Your main place after that.
Yeah, and then from there, I moved out to San Francisco and moved back to Toronto, and that's when I met my buddy Flim.
Okay. Who's blowing up now?
He's doing quite well. He just got signed for Tronic, which I'm super proud. But then we started doing Black Moon Productions. And then when I moved back to London, we started doing our weekly residency downtown. That would have been like 2004, 2003-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I, played on the gay circuit a little bit. So I was playing at 181 as their Saturday night residency DJ.
Yeah, is it the same place that Lavish is at, or was it somewhere else?
No, yeah. So it was. It's torn down.
Now the Well?
It's torn down now. Yeah. It was on King Street, but it was like the only place in London that I felt that there was culture, like especially dance culture. You know.
That makes sense.
And you could go there. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. You're gonna have one fun night. So
you can have good music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great. What was your first concert or your first DJ event? I guess you mentioned one in London. Was there anything else aside from that like kind of really got you into it? Any big festivals or anything like that?
Like WEMF way back. Like I think it was like WEMF 99. I just remembered I remembered going, like, when it was finished, we went back to the car, and I just started like kind of crying.
Aww.
And I just started crying, and I was like, wow, like I feel so alive.
Yeah.
Just because everyone was so kind, and it was just really, it was so different. It was just so different. It was like people were, they were just so giving, and there were, it was like a very strong community,
Yeah, that's what I feel like about festivals in general, and I feel like that's how I got into things with festivals. And it's just like the community around it is really what makes it so magical.
For sure. And you didn't have to spend, $350 to go.
Oh, totally. That's probably another big thing. Well, I mean, some festivals, yes, but it was worth it.
For sure.
So.
Yeah. If you're into it, it's worth it, then go for it,
Yeah. So who are your mentors or musical inspirations? Who do you have a lot of respect for?
I think personally, he's one of my best friends. His name's Clayton Steele. Wicked producer, wicked DJ. He's on SciTech. He's on Number 19 Records. Anyways, he was the guy that kind of showed me the proper way to play records.
Okay. And this was back like turntables?
Turntables. Yeah. And it was just like, I just really loved the dynamics of his mixing style. He was very technical. You always knew when the song was transitioning into him starting, because you would hear in the crowd, everyone's like, fellas on, fellas on, fellas on.
That's
right.
Cool.
And you could
that's
just
a way to start.
And you could just feel it, like the energy, the way he put his rhythmatics together, and like the percussions of the song that he chooses. Like it's just, it was very progressive-y and like very like just
bouncy?
Like poppy, So it was just like, he just really was a true inspiration, and I appreciate him for that. And I also have to mention like Richie Houghton.
Yeah.
Because, no matter if you see him at a big, crazy festival with visuals, you will always see him back in Detroit. I just saw him like, was it last year? Maybe it was last year or the year before. He played in front of like 250 people, Yeah. And like,
that's a big difference. But still,
He's all about like, putting together, concepts and ideas artistically, and it's more than just the music. Like there's this whole evolution of his idea, and it, for me, I can really resonate with that.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like your most recent album, right? Like in terms of the idea, the concept, and more than just that. I mean, you had other pieces, even like when we were there were other like pieces of your art that were there as well. It's like supported that event.
Yeah, for sure. It's there. There's always these parts to the story. Even with my DJing, I'm playing music, but the way I put it together, I'm always trying to tell something, whether you understand it or not, right? As long as I understand it and I'm executing what I feel to the audience, hopefully they can understand and appreciate it and respect what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and what are you usually, like, is there certain stories or certain things that you're trying to tell with your music selections, or is it different depending on the vibe or the where you're playing?
I just play for me, you know, and I hope that, you know, people like it, you know.
They do. I mean, I've seen you play a bunch of times, and everyone loves it, so.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so what about, so this album is this your second album?
This is the second one.
Okay, and how is this album different from your first album, and what kind of inspired this one versus the second album?
Yep, so the first album was about past relationships.
Okay.
And how love can do weird things to your psyche.
Yeah. Those are good themes.
Yeah, and it's just like it let me reminisce about like past girlfriends and like people that I've lost and stuff like that. Okay. So it embarked in a lot of different emotions. Where the new album, it branched off into how important it is to connect with your friends. And to collaborate. Yeah, and just like the time that's spent, the fragments of your timeline in life that you spend and you cherish with people enough to create something beautiful and tangible at the end. Like, you know, so it was like really important to me, and that's why I named the album Friends, like Fragments of Friendship, and it just blossomed and came together.
Yeah, there's so many great tracks in that. Are we gonna hear any of your original songs tonight?
Probably not.
Okay, not tonight. Damn.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, like when you're in the studio and you're making your music, you've listened to them so much. Yeah. You're just kind of
you've heard enough of them.
You're allowed to just let them be released and just let go. You know. Yeah. I don't know.
No, I get that. That definitely makes sense. So what do you love most about the music scene here in London, or it could be anywhere? And where do you see the scene going in the future?
What do I love most about the scene? I like, the reason why I love the scene at the age I am at now is because I don't really give a shit. I just do what I want to do, and I'm not out to impress anybody. Yeah. If I have an idea, I do it. I don't wait around and let other people do it for me. And you know, it just I love the fact that people really support me in that, because they understand how important my art is to me. That they come out and support me for my other adventures in being able to express myself as an artist, whether it's music, art, photography, you know, movie making, whatever, you know, it's like, I really appreciate that. Yeah. So
I think that makes sense, because you've made it such a big part of your life, part of your, like, who you are, and people know that. And I feel like maybe with some newer DJs or people that are newer into it, it's a new passion for them. So I feel like their friends might not, you know, that support might not be there yet, where you've had so much time to like foster that.
For sure.
And people are very understanding. So I love that.
Yeah. And like where I want the scene to go, it's crazy, man. Like, it's just so different.
Yeah. From
now,
when you started.
You know, I'm not a big social media like buff. Like, I haven't really taken the time to learn the algorithms and the techniques.
Well, they change all the time.
I know. So you know what I mean? It's like whenever different promoters or whatever want to book me, I'm just like, hey man, like, I'm sorry, I'm not a social media guy, but when I throw down, I'll make an impression.
I mean, you still share on social media. Yeah. You still shared, you know, promo and stuff like that. Still promoting. So.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. What is one thing that you wish you knew when you started DJing that you knew now? Like, what's some advice that you would give to like maybe newer DJs or newer producers?
Yeah. I think for anyone that has started the grind, I would say just be true to yourself and don't play for the crowd. Always play for yourself. If you like the tracks and you think they're good, trust me, that's going to flourish a lot stronger than you just playing a John Summit song.
Yeah. I
right?
mean, unless you love John Summit.
If you love John Summit, I'm not down in that.
that.
But what I'm saying is it's like it's saturated, right?
Yeah.
That's to me that's saturated music where
Yeah.
there's so much beautiful music out there by so many artists that if you just dig and dig and dig, you will find stuff that you can orchestrate into your flow and the way you play. And
so take the time to find.
And just develop a style, like for yourself, because you are the person that is putting yourself out there. And whether you make it or you break it, it doesn't matter. The fact is I'd much rather be behind the decks and break it and know that I did it the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I agree. I think it's great advice. I feel like I'm the same, where I'm like, sometimes, especially when there's an opportunity to play, I mean, obviously you have to know where you're playing. If you're hired for a corporate event, unfortunately, you're going to have to play the John Summit or whatever it might be.
For sure.
But other things like that, when you can play what you want and you're really excited about it, then it's like, well, so what if there are 3 people dancing? If there are 3 people that that are vibing with you, then that's like all that matters.
That's right. Yeah. 3,000 people or 3 people.
Yeah.
Always just give it your all, man.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
I think definitely good advice. So what are you most excited for this year? I know you just had obviously a big release, something you've been working a long time for. So what are the next kind of things that are, exciting for you?
Yeah. So I just did my first night at the Mockingbird.
Yeah.
It was
a success.
Yeah. It was called Faces, or it's called Faces. It's every second Tuesday of the month. Or
Tuesday?
Oh my God, my mind.
It's competing with the live stream.
There's my cut. every second Saturday of the month. And Faces stand for friends, art, community, electronic, speakeasy.
I love it. Perfect place for it too. Mockingbird is such a great environment for this series.
So it's like taking a step back and concentrating on those more intimate vibes. I think that for me, it's a lot different getting people to dance in their chairs than onto the floor.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's an art form in its own.
Everyone likes a little shoulder shimmy.
For sure.
Yeah. So what's your setup like at home? And is there anything that you want different or that you would be excited to add to your setup?
Oh, I would love to have a set of 3000s and, brand new Pioneer mixer and everything else. But for me, I'm happy with what I have. And for the longest time, I was playing on 1200s with Serato with the DJM 800. Yeah. I played on that for years, and for me to make a mix on that thing, it was like a 60-minute workout. Just the drifting and keeping it tight and everything. Then I ended up
constantly holding on to it.
It's a struggle, man. It was a struggle.
So
but then I bought one of the controllers, the DDJ 1000.
Yeah.
And basically, it's just like a shrunken set of 2000s and an 800, right?
That's perfect.
And what I like about it is it's 4 channels, so I can plug in my turntables. I have a record
nice.
collection of 4,500 records.
I've seen it. It is extensive.
Yeah. I've got a lot of
nothing
vinyl,
like this little collection back here.
So all you new DJs, if you want to get in shape, start spinning vinyl.
Instead of going to the gym, I'm just going to go over to his house. Amazing. Let's see if there's anything else we want to talk about. If you could collab with anybody that you haven't had a chance to collab with, who would it be?
Probably this band called Hammock.
Yeah.
Either that or I I'd love to collaborate with a local guy named Eric. He's in a band called Raised by Swans.
Okay.
He was actually at my release event.
Okay.
Another artist I highly respect.
Was he the one doing the poetry or no?
No, he was kind of sitting in the front with glasses.
Okay.
He had a book.
Okay.
He kind of was
I'm
writing
sure I
away. For sure, you've seen him.
Sure, I saw him.
Just the overall geniusness of the writing, and it's like he's like shoegazy kind of stuff, but Hammock is more like southern ambient stuff.
Okay.
So it's very pretty, very elegant, almost.
I love that kind of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, it's like a whole nother realm of what my mind seeks in a musical platform.
Yeah.
Right. Just very washed out reverb, guitars, and just, pretty stuff.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of emotion, I feel like, that comes through that kind of music. And it's very, I feel like it's relaxing, too. It's like relaxing and like, I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
I think those are all the questions I have for you, but is there anything else that you want viewers to know or that you want to talk about while you have this platform?
No, just, anybody out there that's doing what they're doing, just keep doing it, just keep doing it, stay positive.
Which is tough enough in this industry.
For sure.
So
and
good advice.
It's an industry with a lot of superficial people. So, you know what I mean? Like those people that support you and don't talk shit about you, and when you're not there, they're going to be the ones hyping you up. Those are the people that you want to keep tight to you.
Yeah.
And through this thing that we call music, I have found some of the best, most inspirational, solid people that I've ever experienced in life. And we're friends. We've been friends for over 20 years, and we will be friends until the day I die.
Yeah.
So keep pushing. Don't get down on yourself. If you want it, just go fucking get it.
And you're going to find those connections, those lifelong friendships, for sure. Those people who really resonate with you.
For sure.
Which is exciting, like this guy.
And thank you for having me into
my humble
streaming
living
studio.
Room. Thank you for joining me. We will be right back with the music, but it was so great to get to know you a little bit better.
Likewise, yeah.
And we'll be right back.
Cool. Oh, sign the wall.
Just kidding. We're just going to do this wall signing, and then we'll be right back. Mikey popped in to remind me, which is great because, I forgot already.